Hey, this is Pastor B. Points to Ponder with Pastor B. I want to talk to you about a question that was posed to me: why corporate worship matters, why corporate worship is necessary. Again, I just want to speak to you very frankly, very heart to heart for a moment. There is a misconception flying around that says, I don't need church and I can worship God at home. Or, yes, it's true. You certainly can worship God at home. But the Bible shows us something supernatural happens when we come together to worship. Psalms 122, verse number 1 says, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. Hebrews 10 and 25 says, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together. Matthew 18 and 20, where two or three are gathered in my name, I will be in the midst. Where brethren dwell together, the Lord commands the blessing. Psalms 133, 1 through 3 says, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And finally, Acts 2:42 through 47, the early church gathered, prayed, worshiped, and the church grew. There's something significant that happens in corporate worship. Corporate worship invokes the presence of God. And God has designed the church, God has designed us, that we would connect and that we would worship together in an ecumenical society. Worshiping together in a corporate fashion strengthens and multiplies our sameness. In other words, when we come together in corporate worship, I get strength, I get encouragement, I get infused with vigor, because I see my brothers and sisters who too are going through, but they're making it and they're worshiping God despite everything that they're going through. Another reason why we're doing corporate worship aligns our spirit and focuses our faith on God. It aligns us. It gives us clarity of thought. And then, my brothers and sisters, in this ever-changing world, you need clarity of thought. And one of the best places you can get clarity of thought and hear the word of God is in corporate worship, in a church environment. Guess what? Miracles and breakthroughs happen in our corporate worship, in our church settings, where worship is releasing the power of God. And also, it's gathering worship because it's commanded. He said, where two or three are gathered in my name, I will be in the midst. Now, God is commanding that his power is invoked when two or three people, imagine 20 or 30, 200 to 300 people all coming together to worship. We invoke the presence of God. There are some common objections to this. One of the most common objection is people in church hurt people. And yes, it's true. People in church hurt people. And the church is a place for hurting people. And it's a place where people can get hurt. But God uses the church not because it's perfect, but God uses the church because it has his presence in our gathering. And so regardless of what you may experience in a negative connotation, the presence of God being invoked in your life would overshadow whatever hurt you can have. The church is a hospital, and you don't leave the hospital because you're sick, but you come to the hospital because you need healing. And so you don't want to leave the church, even though you are hurt and have been hurt, and stay on in there, because God's presence is invoked, and God's presence will heal you of all your hurt. Here's why people come to church. They come to church to worship God collectively. They come to church to encourage one another. They come to church because it's a reminder to ourselves that we are not alone. We come to church because we learn the truth together. We come to church in corporate worship to grow, to serve, and to be shaped. Here's what you can expect when you come to church. You can expect music that lifts you. Expect the word of God that centers you. Expect imperfect people pursuing a perfect God. Expect love, welcome, warmth, and worship. And expect God to meet you where you are. I will ask a real politely, real heart to heart, matter of factly, if you could do me a favor, join us this Sunday. Join us at our church this Sunday. Don't walk alone. Don't walk alone. Just join us. Come see what God has for you in this collective corporate worship. I promise you, you'll feel the power of God in your life like never before. Drop a comment below. Let us know how you're thinking, what you're feeling. I love to hear from you. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.